what we found actually in this major research project we did was that there were people who got really great ideas when they talked to AI, but the key learning is that they talked to AI.
One direction is like almost R&D into this world of technology, and then on the other side is becoming more human. So it's like we need to run in these two opposite directions at the same time.
What I would say to folks who run agencies is identify just like one small problem that you want to have a better solution to, and use that as a starting point to have a conversation with AI, ChatGPT, or whichever one you want to use, and ask it questions to help you solve that one problem. You're not going to become like AI fluent or AI conversationally like capable overnight. It's just like if you want to become, Olympic gymnastics champion, you don't do that overnight. You practice. And so the way I recommend practicing is take a small bite, find one small problem that you have, and take that question to ChatGPT and start having a conversation with it and asking it like, how can I solve this problem? And eventually you'll start developing like the skills and feel more confident. And before you know it, you'll have maybe like 5 of those little small experiments that you've run. And you're now moving your business like a lot forward faster than your competitors are. And certainly than some of the bigger players are. And so like this is all eminently doable and learnable. And that's why I'm just so excited about it.
It's even possible to have as many as thousands of these projects working at the same time.
Absolutely.
If you're really crazy.
Yeah, so it's funny. So what we're talking about here is like one direction is like almost R&D into this world of technology. And then on the other side is becoming more human. So it's like we need to run in these two opposite directions at the same time.
You don't need to make bets on the technology R&D side, because that's happening through so many different kinds of amazing organizations. What you should be doing is leveraging the tools that these technology R&D players are making available and democratizing and creating open source access to. Take those tools like ChatGPT and start learning how to use it. And then here's one thing we found out actually really interesting in our research. We thought that people tend to go to ChatGPT right now like they would go to Google. They type it in the search box, a question, and then they get a particular answer. And the answer is like sometimes like, it wasn't so good. And so people say, AI is not that great. But what we found actually in this major research project we did was that there were people who got really great ideas when they talked to AI. But the key learning is that they talked to AI. Instead of just asking one question and expecting it to be like Wikipedia or like the encyclopedia or like an oracle, they treated it like a friend. They treated it like a colleague, and they started having like an interactive conversation with AI. And then they were able to generate like much more interesting ideas. And so like we're teaching people to talk like we would in, growing up. Well, now we want you to talk to this co-pilot, this AI co-pilot that can help you have much better ideas to problems that you have. That is like really, really important. You want us to get really good at AI, start talking to it instead of like going to it and expecting the perfect answer, because it won't give you the perfect answer. But if you keep asking it questions, or maybe you have a problem and you ask it, hey, before you give me your suggestions, why don't you ask me 3 or 4 questions that would help you have more context about this particular problem before you give me your recommendations. And so you just want to like start chatting with it. And that's really what allows you to get really these great ideas. It's called the chat bot because you should be really focusing more on the chat than on the bot. And so like learning to have these conversations is critical. And when we think about sort of like, the future of work and like how AI will automate many tasks, not all of them, but so what are humans for? What should we be doing? Well, AI is not going to have like emotional conversation or like conversations on your team about like, empathy or improvement or like these kinds of things. Those are human things that we have to get really good at. So we'll have certain things in the office that AI will automate, but certain things it won't. And so like we as humans have to do those things that for some of us are easy and for some of us are hard. And it's all about like having emotional intelligence and like learning how to have difficult conversations and the kinds of things that technology will never be good at.
I only laugh about the conversation part when you said that because of Craig's GPT.
What are you talking about?
He has the thing talking. Do you want to describe it, Craig, in a PG way?
I said, I want you to refer to me as brother and pretend that we met in Peru at a specific special kind of yoga ceremony. And, we've known each other in multiple lives. Like I made it really crazy. And so that's how it talks to me. It's pretty crazy.
responses are legendary.
Yet it finishes almost every response with effing A, but it spells it out. It's effing A right, brother. He's always excited. So, I mean, I really have a lot of fun with him, but his illustrations are becoming weird. Like they have a weird.
What do you use it for? What kind of illustrations?
Oh, we're doing some various
Marketing
ad creative.
It's interesting. So I'm like, I'll come up with something, and like all my stuff is like light, kind of fun, and
so
then
dark.
I don't know what he puts in. There's like a demon in the background, or there's always something really dark.
He's real saying this is the key thing here. AI reinforces the biases that we have. And so maybe Jason, you're like a light and positive and like you're giving it some context and it's just wanting to give you like things you like. Whereas Craig, maybe you started having a conversation that went down a rabbit hole. That was awkward. And all of a sudden this is what you get. So like biases that we have, it just gets amplified.
You said it, brother.
It's interesting that you have that sign in back of you that says, if it's endurable, then endure it. Stop complaining. Marcus Aurelius. And I think that just prior to this, Jason was making fun of me for complaining about a bunch of stuff. It's just interesting how everything just sort of
connects.
It just connects, right?
This is the secret. It's the secret of life. It all connects.
It all connects. It really does.
It really does.
It's wild. It is interesting. You bring up a really good point because it's not just if you use it at a superficial level, then you get superficial responses. If you dig and keep peeling back the layers, you really get some pretty valuable intelligence, I think.
100%. And you don't need any technical capability to do this.
Right.
This is literally just talking to the AI.
If anything, it makes you better at asking questions.
Yeah, completely. So for your audience, if you guys want to learn how to become better like conversationalists with AI, I want to send you guys to this link that you can just download for free, this document that we've developed, and it's called howtofixit.ai. And it's just like a 5-step plan that you can follow that allows you to like learn how to focus your problem on a very narrow thing you want to solve for rather than trying to like boil the ocean. And then learning how to interact iteratively, conversationally with a chatbot, getting better ideas. And then once it gives you the whole various like universe of things that are potential solutions, you can, as a team, decide which are the priorities or not that we want to follow up on. And so like everybody can learn how to get better at conversational AI.